Alright, so today we are making vanilla ice cream. If you look here, you're going to see pretty much everything that we need. And this is going to be homemade vanilla ice cream, the way your grandmother made it. Alright? So the first thing we got here is going to be a large saucepan. So we're going to be making our ice cream in here, bringing it up to temperature. We'll go over the specifics on that later. Next thing we're going to need is a cup of heavy cream and 3 cups of half and half. Now we've already put that in our glass bowl right there. It doesn't have to be a glass bowl, but we went ahead and put it in our glass bowl, and so it's already kind of mixed up. Now the other thing that we have as well to sweeten our ice cream is going to be 3/4 of a cup of organic sugar. Now we're also going to need a large mixing bowl. I'm using this large mixing bowl because eventually the entire mixture is going to have to go back in here. I'll tell you why, because like I said, we're making this just the way your grandmother used to make it. And since it's going to start off hot, we're going to need for something to cool the mixture off in. Now, last but not least, we are going to need our 8 egg yolks. So right now we just have them in the form of eggs, but we're going to transfer these over to egg yolks. Now once, of course, all this is completely cooled off, we are then going to transfer this into our ice cream maker right here, which of course right now I do not have the piece in there that actually freezes the ice cream. That's in the freezer, so we're going to put that in later. So in other words, you are going to need an ice cream maker of some sort. You're going to need your eight large eggs. You're also going to need a whisk because we're going to do a lot of whisking, and we're also pretty much going to need all this here. So let's go ahead and get started with our ice cream. The first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do, and save you the time of seeing, is getting all the 8 egg yolks into our mixing bowl there. We're also going to go ahead and put the half and half and heavy cream mixture into the pan and go ahead and get it heating up. And what you're looking for is for that mixture to be just before boiling. And once it's just before boiling, you're going to turn it off. So we're getting started. Alright, so just to show you here, because my lovely assistant pointed out that I needed to make sure that we were pretty thorough showing you how to do all this. And not everyone knows how to remove the egg from the egg yolk, and there are a few different ways that you can do it. If you check out Hulu.com, you'll see that you can see Jock and Julia Childs, all right? And Julia Childs is a awesome teacher, and so is Jock, and they have their own different ways of removing the egg yolk from the egg white. So Jock likes to get his hands dirty, and he'll put all of his eggs into a container, and he'll reach in with his hands and get the egg yolks out. But the fact of the matter is that in today's world, as of 2013, the quality of eggs isn't exactly the same as it used to be back in Jock and Julia's day. So in other words, your egg yolk may not be farm fresh like theirs were. So I prefer to do it with this method, which is the same method that Julia uses, which is just to crack the egg in the center and pull it open, and we end up with our yolk, right? Then we just use both of the sides of the shell to keep switching the egg yolk from one side to another. Now, if you're imperfect like I am, sometimes you will pierce the yolk, which I've done in this case, but it's not a big problem because I got most of the egg yolk out. Now, if you pierce the egg yolk too quickly, that's not a problem, because you know what, as long as you have a lot more egg yolk than you do egg white in this mixture, you'll come out perfectly fine. Alright, but don't worry, you're not going to starve other people as well. You can always take this egg white and you can make your own low cholesterol omelet later, and it's just something good that you can do. So you're not wasting anything. You're taking your egg whites, like I said, you can make a low cholesterol omelet or whatever else you want to make that doesn't necessarily call for a full egg. So now that you've got your 8 egg yolks here, the next thing that you're going to want to do is to beat the egg yolks until they're light, until they form ribbons. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this, and we are going to really kind of fast forward through this part until you can kind of see how it's supposed to look. So let's go ahead and get started mixing. Now if you look here, you can see that our egg whites are a little bit brighter, and you can tell they're not pretty much they're not exactly still in their separate egg yolk packages, if you want to put it that way. They're all a good mixed up mixture, which is what we're looking for. And what you're going to do from that point is go ahead and start to mix your sugar in. So we're going to start doing that slowly. In the meanwhile, our cream and heavy cream has actually started to boil a little bit. That's past the point we wanted it, but it's still okay. We're just going to go ahead and cut that off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off and let it start to cool a little bit. And it's in perfect time because we're going to go ahead and, after we mix in the sugar into our egg yolks, we're going to temper this mixture with that. So perfectly fine. So first thing, we're going to go ahead and slowly start mixing our sugar. And once you're kind of mixed up pretty well here, what you're going to be looking for is ribbons like that. So it doesn't have to be anything super special, but you do want to make sure that you have it mixed in well, which we do. So now we have it mixed in well, we are going to go ahead and start to mix in our heavy cream half and half mixture. All right. And like I said, we're going to temper this. And what does tempering mean? If you paid attention in home economics, you'll remember that tempering a mixture is slowly adding a hotter mixture into a cooler mixture so that it slowly takes on the temperature. We're doing this with eggs here. If you pour all of your hot mixture in with the eggs all at once, then you're going to cook your eggs. So you have to slowly add it in. So we're going to start little by little. And once you've mixed in a third of your hot mixture, then they say you can go ahead and pour in the rest of the hot mixture. I just still like to take it slow. Yeah, you can call me a girl, but that's how I am. I don't think there's anything magic about 1/3. So what we're going to do here is make sure that our mixture is thoroughly mixed. And once it's thoroughly mixed, we're actually going to end up putting it back in our pan so that it can go ahead and come up to temperature, which is going to be 170 degrees. Now we're going to be mixing it pretty regularly during this process. So just keep in mind, you can't walk away quite yet. So once again, make sure that it's good and mixed. And I'm going to go ahead and pour it back in. And if you've noticed, it's taking on that that homemade vanilla look about it, so slightly yellow there, but you know, still looking good. Now at this point we can actually go ahead and add in a little bit of our vanilla extract as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you add in your vanilla, then you're really going to be able to smell that good homemade vanilla flavor or smell that you normally get at the ice cream that you get from the store, except for this is better because it's yours and you know what's in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a teaspoon of vanilla extract, well, pure vanilla they call it. There's a difference. I'm gonna take that, go ahead and put it in there, and go ahead and give it a good mix. I'm also going to add one more thing that I know I didn't mention at the beginning. I'm going to add a pinch of salt to this. Now your grandma may or may not have told you, but if you take a pinch of salt and mix it in with your ice cream, it also brings out the sweetness in the ice cream as well. Now we're not talking about a bunch because salty ice cream is just gross, but we're just talking about just a little pinch. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a pinch of salt here. As you can see, it's not a bunch. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there. We're gonna go ahead and let this cook and do its thing. Now just remember, like I said, you're gonna stir it regularly, and the temperature that we're looking for is 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright? Alright, so we are good now. I'm about to go ahead and I'm going to take my ice cream mixture, which right now is a little bit above temperature, and that's because it was pretty hot when we initially put it back in here anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and take this mixture and put it into a bowl and leave it out for a while. And the purpose of leaving it out is so that you don't heat up your refrigerator too much, because eventually this is going to go into the refrigerator and it's going to cool down to about 40 degrees before we go ahead and put it in our ice cream maker. So what we got here is a very high quality custard that we're going to be able to really make some awesome ice cream with. Alright, so talk to you in a bit once this is actually cooled off. Alright, so it is now the morning time, and we are going to take a look at our mixture here. You can see it's kind of thick, which is good. Left the mixture in the refrigerator overnight just to make sure that it was nice and cool. Here we have our ice cream maker with the actual the cooling container in it, the container that you leave in the freezer to actually, you know, go ahead and get, you know, the ice cream to freeze as it makes it. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and I'm gonna go ahead and take my mixture here and go ahead and pour this in to the ice cream maker as it's on. Get the rest of this in, and we can follow back up after this is done. And we're going to leave it in here until it's either soft serve or really whatever texture you want it to. If you want it to be harder, then you can take it out of the ice cream maker and put it in the freezer for a while, and that'll make sure it's good and solid for you.